Hi, welcome to another edition of the Counter Press. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is the Counter Press. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Click on the notification bell. Click on the notification bell so that once we post a video, you can access the video. Do click on the notification bell so that you can access the video. Please click on the notification bell, notification bell, subscribe so that once you get a video, you can subscribe and share. Yeah, so today it's Moises Caceido. So when Frank Lampard was leaving Chelsea, out of the four key things that he enumerated to the sporting directors, Wayne Stanley and Vivell, he was very, very hard-hitting on the fact that Chelsea needs a proper defensive midfielder. You see, so just by way of context, a lot of teams these days are moving away from using profiles as a defensive midfielder to defend in those zones. There are defensive midfielders that are huge cognitive people. That's role. You're supposed to be almost able to read what the next move of your opponent, where they receive the ball, how the pass may come, how you can nick it off them. Very important. Now, Chelsea knew that for them to be able to go away from just using personnel to using structure, and that's exactly what teams like Manchester City do. They use structure to defend. That's why they counter press quickly. That's why they come compact, shove you off wide areas. That's why sometimes they overcrowd you in central areas. A lot of the times, you need it. But in some teams that are yet to be built, some teams that have not really grown, you hinge on the individual ability in those areas. Now, Chelsea is yet to be a strong team in that regard. Chelsea is now about to grow under Mauricio Pochetinno. Now, whilst you are growing under Mauricio Pochettino, you need to have a very sound defensive midfielder so that they can do that job for you whilst you build a structure. Exactly. In this season, Chelsea are going to have just one game per week until January, which is very, very good for a team that's not going to play in Europe because they're not going to play in Europe, which is very good for a team that's going to build itself as a new team under a new manager. Very important. Again, this is going to afford Chelsea a lot of time to build a structure in which they defend, in which they attack and what have you. But whilst they begin the season, they need exceptional profiles who can understand how to do this job, especially from the get-go. Now, this is where Moises Caceido is important. The Ecuadorian has lived his life in Santa de Ville in Ecuador. He has seen it all. Come to Brighton, played some very good football, wanted to leave at some point in time. Tony Bloom didn't want him to leave. This time, it looks like Chelsea are going to get their man. Yesterday, a lot of reports that are coming in shows that Brighton and Hove Albion and Chelsea are locked in talks and they are trying to find a way. Yes, while there aren't a lot of brouhaha outside in terms of the deal with Moises Caceido, in fact, the truth is it's really advancing. Now, in this video, the goal is to analyze the fact that Brighton and Hove Albion's Moises Caceido is just more. He is more than a defensive midfielder or the conventional defensive midfielder. You remember when Mauricio Sarri was coach of Chelsea Football Club and he tried to use N'Golo Conte in some form of attacking number 8. It didn't mean N'Golo Conte wasn't going to be defensive midfielder and win those balls and do those roles when Chelsea were without the ball. It is because the game is moving away from just positions to roles. Now, it is in this role that Moises Caceido is more than just a defensive midfielder. Yes, his numbers for shielding of the screen, his interceptions, his ball winning ability, his ball carrying ability, his defensive numbers are good. Especially with his tackles, especially with his defensive ball winning ability in the defensive third, his interceptions, like I mentioned earlier, is one of the best. Ground duels, aerial duels, in the 50-50 balls in the middle of the park, it's one of the best. But now, Moises Caceido is just more than that. Caceido is an excellent carrier of the ball. At Brighton, in the middle of the park, anytime Brighton were being priced 1v1, and then Roberto Di Zerbi wanted somebody to be a good ball carrier of the ball, it was Moises Caceido. In the days where he was played together with Yves Bissouma, Bissouma also had an excellent ball carrying ability. But then in that creative hole from outside, from attacking number 8 areas, when they needed somebody to be the real guy, whilst Yves could dictate the pace from deep areas, Moises Caceido could even add more in terms of creativity and ball carrying up top to make sure that his teams were up when they were pressed 1v1. He was able to evade the press because, again, he has a low center of gravity, he has a good security on the ball, and again, he has very good dribbling ability to evade the press anytime that he wants to. And that's the second attribute of Moises Caceido. Whilst he's able to do the job of cleaning the back four and being a very good interceptor of the ball in front of the back line, it's a good one. But then in the modern game when he needs to build up, it is where he's even better. Yes, Enzo Fernandez is also very good in terms of the first phase of ball progression and even second and carrying the ball forward. But when Chelsea are going to play in that favored Mauricio Pochettino 4-2-3-1, what it means is that there is going to be a nominal 4-2-3-1, but essentially Chelsea are going to have three center backs at the back or three defenders at the back in Thiago Silva, either of Benoit Beliashile or Levi Kowo when he plays, and then Mark Cucurella most of the times if Chelsea want to play with Reece James inverted, or maybe Ben Chilwell. Once that is the case, Reece James is going to play inverted as a double six with Enzo Fernandez, with Moises Caceido. Now, these two players are going to be at the helm of the first phase of ball progression. Reece is excellent in receiving from that area. He also has a low center of gravity. He also is very secured in the ball. He's also a better carrier of the ball as well. And it's the same for Moises Caceido. Now, this makes Chelsea excellently secured in the ball. Even when Kepa Arrizabalaga wants to play from outside, he now has 5 options, 2 in a 3-2 phase of ball progression, 2 double sixes in Reece and then Moises Caceido, whilst the 3 center backs or the 3 defenders are spread across the width of the 18-yard box for him to pass the ball from there. Now, the most important thing is how they receive the balls in tight spaces, because almost every team is going to be aggressive and combative in central areas in the first space and not allow you to play forward. Now, this is where the press-resistant ability of Moises Caceido comes in. He's able to pick the balls from there. His numbers are exciting. He's very secure on the ball. Doesn't really lose the ball at all he's very secure on the once you give him that ball in those areas, and he's able to carry the ball forward. If he's able to carry the ball forward, there's going to be the occupation on the left and right half space by Nkunku and Enzo Fernandez, who are going to be creators in that top row. Again, what this affords Chelsea is that once there is Reece James in the middle of the park, once there's Moises Caceido, right ahead of them, there is Nkunku and Enzo to form a box midfield. And that's the newest secured form of midfield, exactly like Pep Guardiola used in the final of the Champions League. This box midfield helps in counter press. The energy levels, the aggression of Moises Caceido helps him to press from out wide, whilst Enzo Fernandez and Nkunku lead the press from out top, and the Reece James also slots in. It's an exciting way that Chelsea wants to play. He isn't just a defensive midfielder. He is more than that. He is a threat in front of goal. He is able to attack the 18-yard box. He is the best to describe a box-to-box midfielder in the recent game. Attacks the opposing box, comes back to defend his, because he is hinged on a lot of energy. And then the fact that most likely he's not going to be burned out all through the season. Has a wonderful injury record, screens the back line, adds progression, adds ball carrying ability, and is able to create also and score goals sometimes for Chelsea Football Club. So once Chelsea gets Moises Caceido, he's a wonderful player, not just a DM, and he will help Chelsea a lot. Thank you. This again is the counter press. Like, before we go, do not forget notification bell, subscribe, notification bell, subscribe, notification bell, subscribe, notification bell. See you. Bye.